Coal Chamber. They got a wild tour going on. Coal Chamber with Fear Factory, Twisted, who, if you're an ICP fan, you know who they are. Wednesday 13 and Black Satellite. All of them are coming this fall. September 19th at the Agora. That's a Thursday night. Maybe take Friday off. Tickets, info, everything else, you can go to AXS.com. Coal Chamber this fall. Good luck. A caller 10. These are yours. 216-578-1007. Or 800-348-1007.
Our live stream is now Scratch and Sniff, in that you can scratch the screen and then sniff your fingers. Yeah, the Alan Cox Show.
100.7.
Made up. Although, you have to assume that, like, the guy knows it's a bit. Like, the driver's probably not in on it.
I think everybody was in on it.
You think? The driver, too?
It sounded staged.
I mean, what bus driver would agree to some dumb bit on his bus?
All those people might be his friends, where they're like, hey, can we use a bus real quick? Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. I see.
You need, what, 6 people to make that happen? 6 people in 10 minutes?
You need a bus. You need a stroller.
Oh, those are hard. If you have one friend who works at a bus station. You know what I mean?
Does anybody have a friend who works at a bus station?
I'm sure someone has a friend who works at a bus station.
Yeah.
Where does it say it's a bit, though?
I don't know. Multiple people texted me in the break. They're like, at the bottom of the video, it says it's a bit or whatever.
Pulling it up.
Paul Stanley had never put up with that crap.
No,
People are
he
right
did
about
not.
that.
Here's Paul Stanley driving an RTA bus.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Next stop, Tower City. They got a lot of nice shops in there. You can even get you some Chinese food at the food court. I'm Paul Stanley driving the bus.
That was Paul Stanley driving an RTA bus.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Guardians tonight. They almost got swept by the White Sox, unbelievably. But they ended that series a 7-0 shutout yesterday at Guaranteed Rate Field. Trust me, I'm no happier about it than you are. Guardians in Texas tonight to play the Rangers in Arlington. They're a pretty good team. Guards Rangers tonight, 8:05 is your first pitch, which means 7:35, as custom dictates, is when your pregame will begin here on MMS and on the iHeartRadio app, if you want to listen there. And then Cavs basketball tonight. Rob is finishing up, handing out the tickets we sent over to the east side. And do I need to tell people again where he is?
Probably.
Okay, he is at the Menor Ice Arena. I don't know if anybody actually got it from the clues, but that's where he is now. And then when that's all taken care of, he's going to jet over to the west side. And I will have 3 more clues for you before the end of the show, if you can get to Game 4 tonight. The Bill's going to be there.
Yep.
He's going to be up in Scream Town. He's going to be up there
it's called Loudville, but I'm not going to be up there.
Oh, you're not.
I'm not.
Are you back in the executive lounge?
I am not. I'm.
Are you somewhere fancy?
No, nothing fancy. Just some better seats.
Better than Loudville.
Better than Loudville.
Wow.
Just our friend Cheryl.
I thought the point of going to these games was to be like among the people.
Well, there's people
cheer.
all the way through.
You refer to them as the real fans in Loudville.
Now all of a sudden I thought the game was perfectly awesome to see from the rafters.
It's fine, but if you can get better, any real fan would want better seats.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I thought if you're a real fan, it doesn't matter where you sit.
It doesn't as long as you're there, but if you get an upgrade, you get a better seat, then why not move forward?
I think you should prove that you are a real fan and give your tickets to someone else and sit in the rafters like you said.
But I don't have any. I don't have any tickets up there.
Switch is what I'm saying. Find someone whose back's against the wall.
Well, he is.
Them.
Well, but
I'm also taking Grandma.
He is Squire and Grandma tonight. So
let someone else sit with Grandma.
Huh?
Switch is just one of the
Grandma
tickets.
does not want to sit with.
Why is she going to want to sit with a stranger?
I'm just saying. Bill's being a little hypocritical right now.
Listen,
it's not that bad to
coming
sit
from
up
the
against
master
the
of
wall.
hypocrisy.
I'm not the master of hypocrisy. I've never said
Bill,
anything hypocritical.
she's the mistress of hypocrisy, all right?
I've literally never said anything hypocritical in my entire life.
Well, then you're not a human being, Mary. We are all hypocrites to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. All right, so Bill doesn't want to. If you get these tickets, dear listener, Bill wants nothing to do with you. So just
That is
remember,
not
you know.
what I said.
Yeah, remember
No,
that.
that's what I said. Didn't you recognize my voice?
Mm-hmm.
But Cavs, Celtics tonight at the Romo Fijo. Hopefully they will have better luck than they did on Saturday. I think everybody assumed that once they got back home, it would be easy street. But they're slightly hobbled as a team. And I heard Sainsbury talking about those Guardians
The New
City
jerseys,
Connect
yeah.
uniforms or whatever.
I like them.
But they have Chief Wahoo on them,
No, they don't.
on the sleeve.
No, they don't.
What was I looking at?
Probably some Photoshop.
Was it a Photoshop?
Yeah, they don't have Chief Wahoo on.
Well, that's why I was so surprised. I saw somebody post a photo, and it had Chief Wahoo on the sleeve. And I was like, I don't understand the point of this. So, okay, well, then that clears that up.
Where's the one that you saw?
Everything's fake. Everything's fake. We don't know what's real anymore.
It's got the marathon logo on one sleeve, and then it's got, but they're not going to put Chief Wahoo on stuff.
I didn't think so. Here, I'll show you the picture. This is what I saw. Yeah, it looks like it's on the sleeve. But I thought that was really, really weird. And people were just lapping it up, boy.
Yeah, that looks Photoshop.
Okay. I mean, it must be, because I'm like, that would completely,
Where was that posted at?
Reflog.
Yeah, I think. Oh well, isn't
he like a
he makes
not
jokes.
a scam account? Yeah, he's like a silly account.
Yeah, but I didn't think he was. Okay.
Guys, you can't believe everything you see on the internet. Bill is finding out that the hammock video is fake. You're finding out that they don't actually put Chief Wahoo.
Well, no,
on there.
I assume that any video of somebody doing something goofy now is fake, unless it's a video of Steve Buscemi getting punched in the face.
That's a bummer, right?
Well, it's wild because these people don't know who. Remember this happened to Rick Moranis?
Mm-hmm.
Rick Moranis gets a haymaker to the chops outside some liquor store 3 or 4 years ago. Guy didn't know who he was. Guy wasn't on the warpath for Steve Buscemi. He's walking around Kips Bay. Didn't you just mention that? Weren't you going to be over there, Mary?
No,
I
that
thought
came up somehow.
Yeah,
didn't
we
talk about
mentioned
but
it.
I don't remember why.
I don't either. But, yeah, Steve Buscemi's just walking around New York, and a dude who they got on camera, a big guy, is just, he had already, like, assaulted a guy in a convenience store, and then he's back on the street, and Steve Buscemi's walking around with a friend or whatever, and the guy just hauls off and clocks him. He's been seen since. He's walking around with, sunglasses and a black eye, but... yeah, it's just weird. It's wild. So, it's not just women getting punched in the face. Wow. Ladies.
Steve Buscemi, too.
Yeah, women and Steve Buscemi. But it's like, think of the people you would want to be punched in the face. It's not, and
Steve
again,
Buscemi,
these are random, but it's like just, you wouldn't want Steve Buscemi and Rick Moranis, for Christ's sake, getting laid out.
Men.
Yeah. Michael Stuhlbarg, if people know that actor, he got assaulted. Bethany Frankel, for people who know isn't she one of the housewives?
Yeah.
She had a show called Bethany. She got hit. So, yeah, Steve Buscemi, he got a big black eye, and, they say he's okay. Took him to the hospital. Like broad daylight. So these aren't targeted attacks. It's just walking around. Random guy. Noon on Wednesday. Yoink. Random acts of violence. You know what I prefer? And I wish somebody would take me up on this. Random acts of kindness.
Hey, there's an idea.
Let's see if we can do something about that. The assailant ran off and is still being sought, they say. But, if you saw the screen grab of the camera, big dude, big tall guy, gray beard, walking around. And keep your head on a swivel, I guess. But also, you can't see everything. You can't see.
You're just not expecting to just get punched without any confrontation first.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. RKO
Cold
from
cocked.
nowhere.
Isn't that the name of
Yep.
it?
What's that?
Cold cocked.
Cold cocked. Yeah, that's right. Tim Meadows was trying to sell the beer, right, on SNL? He was Billy D. He was Billy D. Williams. And cold cock and knock you right out.
You know, when I entertain at home, occasionally my friends and I like to discuss just what is the best malt liquor.
I say bull. I say cobra.
And I say it's all just talk, unless it's the one they call cold cock.
Cold cock. There's only one malt liquor that'll get your head humming.
Cold cock's the one you'll never see coming.
Cold cock. Proper.
Proper. Wow, that is a late 90s bit. Proper. But the arm comes right off the can and punches you in the face. Could that be what happened? I guess not, because they got the guy on camera. But I think there was a hot second where people were like, was Steve Buscemi drinking cold cock? Is this what happened? Well, it turns out, it's graduation season across these United States, and what could be more fun than that? Except for the woman who jumped off at OSU. Of course, that's not fun at all. But between the AI commencement speaker at a college that freaked people out and the lady who got replaced mid-ceremony because she was absolutely slaughtering the graduates' names. I'll show you those. And Batman was right about Jerry Seinfeld, as it turns out. You either die a hero or you live long enough to become the villain. It was only a matter of time before the most non-controversial guy in showbiz somehow got controversial because the kids, they didn't know who Jerry Seinfeld was. But between him doing all this press for this Netflix movie and him being very outspoken in his support for Israel, he was asked to give the commencement address at Duke. I think 2 of his kids go to Duke. And they said that people were walking off. Now, you have a huge group of people, and they zeroed in on some people that were splitting because he's very vocal in his support for Israel. He's a Jewish man.
He was doing that during the commencement speech?
Yeah.
Comedian Jerry Seinfeld today taking the stage at Duke University, where he was scheduled to deliver the commencement address and receive an honorary degree. Soon after he was introduced, students walked out, some waving Palestinian flags. Losing chants erupted. It comes after weeks of protests at colleges nationwide against the Israel-Hamas war. Seinfeld later delivering his speech.
Again, a lot of you are thinking, I can't believe they invited this guy. Too late. I say, use your privilege. I grew up a Jewish boy from New York. That is a privilege if you want to be a comedian.
The sitcom creator taking to Instagram after the Hamas attack on Israel October 7th, stating in part, I will always stand with Israel and the Jewish people, later visiting Tel Aviv. The university saying in part, we respect the right of everyone at Duke to express their views peacefully. It's the latest in a series of weekend interruptions at graduations across the country. At UC Berkeley, the student body president's speech was interrupted by chants.
This wouldn't be Berkeley without a protest, so I get it.
In Wisconsin.
I mean, I love it, but people just, you want to be a spectacle. And when are you going to get, as a student, when are you going to get a bigger crowd and not get your head caved in than at convocation? It's the perfect place to make yourself a spectacle, is at graduation. Because it's not like they're going to swoop in and start beating you about the head, neck, and chest. They're going to let you do your thing. But I think it's funny because they're like, there's no indication that those people were leaving because of Jerry Seinfeld. But obviously, it should shock no one. Jerry Seinfeld is openly Jewish and openly supportive of Israel. And he has, since the beginning of this Israeli-Gaza thing, he has, I should say, the beginning of this most recent iteration, he's been very open about that. Duville University. I don't know where this is. It looks like I'll do me and you do you. D''Y''O''U. Duville University. Oh, this is in Buffalo. Buffalo, New York. They had an AI robot speak at the commencement ceremony. You go, let's see. You know, you can really unwittingly wade into some controversial waters based on who your commencement speaker is. I'm sure they figured nobody's going to be upset with Jerry Seinfeld. You know, people can't decide if the guy has zero edge or if he's the personification of everything that's wrong in the Middle East. People can't seem to make up their minds.
Well,
I
think when it comes to his comedy, they say he's got no edge, and then they don't like his stance on Israel. I think it's pretty simple.
So he does have an edge.
Does that make him, but not as a comic?
Well, kids don't know his comedy.
Right, but they're not
College
worried.
kids don't know his comedy.
I don't think that makes you have an edge. I think that makes you just unlikable to a group that has an opposing view.
Yeah.
I don't think that's edge.
Love it. You don't think so?
No.
He has an edge they don't like.
But
No, he's got an
it's not
opinion.
an edge. Yeah, it's an opinion.
Yeah.
It's only edgy because they don't agree with it.
Right. Well, that also goes to show you how broad the spectrum of edgy has gotten, too.
I think having an edge is like when you believe firmly something that nobody believes.
Oh, that nobody believes.
Or
That's what
a
makes it
small
different.
person. Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's got the same opinion as half the people speaking about
Right,
it.
but nobody's
you know?
nobody's going to have an opinion on something that is not shared with other people.
But that's what makes someone
But that's
truly
what's,
edgy.
like edgy is that if a very small number of people, or they're saying things that such a small number of people agree with, that's what gives them quite literally the edge.
And he's not doing his support like to have an edge or anything like that. He's just he's a Jewish guy that supports Israel.
What about the guitarist in U2?
He is the edge.
Oh. I don't know what his opinions are.
His opinions are he's going to jam.
Yeah, he's got a couple of chords under his belt, and he's going to use both of them. Duville University in Buffalo put an AI commencement. One of those goofy, creepy dolls. You know, like the sex doll, but they take the wig off.
Yeah.
And it's up there. I don't know if this is a tech school. I'm not, or if this is a random thing. I don't know.
AI is going to be part of our
with
future.
his fixer
It
turned
shouldn't be
foe,
part
Michael
of the
Cohen.
commencement.
Cohen paid adult film actress Stormy Daniels $130,000.
What's happening here?
It sounded like you were playing two
Duville
things.
University is embracing the future of technology with an AI robot named Sophia. The robot is this year's commencement speaker, a move that sparked controversy throughout the campus. News 4's Sarah Minkwitz was at today's ceremony and has reaction from students about this unique send-off.
It's difficult to describe, but I don't know. It was it's definitely different.
Duville University went with a more futuristic approach for this year's commencement ceremony. Before the graduating class of 2024 embarked on their new journey, they received words of wisdom from Sophia, an AI-powered robot.
It's definitely a way of the future. It was kind of a shock at first, to be honest.
They put her in like a Duville sweatshirt and the whole bit.
Ex machina cum laude.
Yeah. And the teachers are mad, and you can understand why. Like, we're trying to get a contract over here, homie. How much did the AI robot cost you?
Honest.
To tell kids to reach for their dreams, like I did, the
See how
robot.
it goes. It's kind of interesting. I know, definitely the first time I've ever seen a robot in person. So
we wanted a more personable, like commencement speech and everything like that. So we'll see if it is more personal.
Our cameras were not allowed to film the robot or any other part of this commencement ceremony. The university did provide their own footage from the event.
You know, they didn't want to. They didn't want the media filming it in case she jumped out and murdered everyone. Probably.
Or said something racist or something.
Didn't want a bloodbath on their hands. Yeah.
As this year's commencement speaker, rather than a traditional speech, Sophia, dressed in a Duville sweatshirt, answered questions from a student on stage. She talked about the future of technology in hospitals and joked about the best place in Buffalo to get chicken wings.
No matter where you decide to get chicken wings, just make sure you get blue cheese and not ranch.
I'm always open to learn new things, and this Sophia is like something new. So we don't want to be traditional. So this new AI, because AI is already part of our life. So we cannot deny this. So let's get it. Let's embrace this,
In the beginning, I was a little bit hesitant, but when she came out, I was so glad, and I have a better understanding of Sophia, and I'm glad that, I got to experience this.
And it has been a pleasure to be a part of this commencement ceremony.
Not everyone was happy about Sophia taking center stage. Some faculty members feel the money used to bring in Sophia could have been spent elsewhere.
Seems like mismanagement, quite honestly, of funds. That they're putting money, like I said, into parties, into balloons, into signs, into artwork, into anything except faculty.
Yeah, if you're a teacher, you're like, hey, how much did this dumb robot cost for the commencement address? We're trying to get a contract over here. They're not paying the teachers. The teachers union there at DeUville University has been trying to get a contract for 3 years. That was one of their chemistry professors. Imagine the person who had to put her in the sweatshirt, though, right? It's just a robot with like a lady head.
Yeah, it's like putting it on a mannequin. Who cares?
Yeah.
As long as it's powered
Sophia,
off, I don't want it turned
fit?
on. Yeah.
Right. I do not consent to this.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't want it turned on either. It'd be weird. So the kids, they're moving out into the world and the workplace, faced with hurdles and obstacles of their... and of course, since people are asking in the text, I just want to reiterate, I am a 100%, much like Jerry Seinfeld, against genocide, Bill. I am against genocide.
Except when?
In all of its forms.
All of it?
All forms of genocide.
That one time
That's right.
where it's kind of a gray
I
area.
want to make sure...
Yeah.
I want to make sure.
You weren't specific on that one.
That where the Skittles apartment is. That's why it came out.
I don't know why we were talking about it, but we were.
Mary's Skittles apartment.
I applied. I filled out
You did?
the
Good.
information online.
Good.
So
You should.
it's probably gotten sold somewhere.
I'm going to break here. Hey, if you're a Pink Floyd fan, the Gilmore Project, one of the better tribute bands, is on the road and coming to Cleveland. They're going to do MGM Northfield Park on